glad you're here. Come on in.
Go.
Hi, I am so excited to have you here today. I want to start off with a big wow. Oh my goodness, the welcome that I received from all of you with my last podcast was so overwhelming and unexpected, and I am so appreciative of it. So let me start with a big, huge thank you for joining me here and chatting with me in the comments and spending some time with me. It's nice to have somebody to enjoy the same things that I enjoy. So thank you for being here. Let me introduce myself. My name is Christie Archer. This is my second podcast. This is a knitting podcast mostly. There will be other things thrown in there, but for the most part it's knitting. And so I have a lot to talk about today. Today is Friday, February 28th. No, it's not Friday. Sorry, it's Sunday, February 28th. And I have so much to talk to you guys about. I have 5 FOs and 2 whips to get us started. So I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room, my cardigan, what I'm wearing. So I'm going to stand up, and I have my son back there who is going to be my camera operator. Thank you, Gavin. And he is going to focus it on me while I show you guys what I'm wearing, and then I will release him of camera duty. So let's see. Okay, so this is a cardigan that will be, it is not a written pattern yet. It is something that I will be writing very soon, so I hope you guys enjoy it. This is a top-down raglan, and it is I did full length sleeves. I did a 5-inch cuff, and it has a very gentle increase slope here, and it has a 2.5, no, I'm sorry, on this one I did a 2-inch rib at the bottom. The bottom hem is slightly longer in the back, and I have a split hem back there. And there are no picking up stitches with the exception of under the arms. It is, you cast on for your neck lining, and you work your raglans, and you work your front band while you're knitting. So there's no picking up stitches, which just makes this so much fun to knit up. It was a super fast knit, and that is it for standing up. I'm going to let my son refocus on me sitting back down, and then I'll talk about this a little bit more. Okay. And you are free. Thank you for your help. Okay, so the reason, okay, let me take a step back. I was trying to not take up as much time, too much time of my son's. He was in the middle of doing something, so he was kind enough to help me. So let me take a quick step back and discuss this from the beginning. Last podcast, I had dyed up some yarn to do a top design that I had created, but I started working. This is it was an MCN base, and it's in the colorway, in my colorway, Good Vibrations, and I talk about that in more detail in the last podcast. But I was working on the design, and the yarn just wasn't doing what I wanted it to for that particular design. So I decided to rip it back, and there is another podcaster that I watch, and I follow her on Instagram. Her name is Leslie Friend, and her podcast is called A Friend to Knit With. If you guys haven't seen her, I encourage you to go check her out. She kind of inspired this in the way that she had recently posted a sweater out of mohair. And I'm not new to seeing people post mohair, but it just happened to be at the right time. And mohair is something that I've always loved the look of, but being in Southern California, it is not a material that you think of wearing, you know, in 120 degree Fahrenheit summer weather, or even 70, 80 degree winter weather. But so anyway, she's always posting these beautiful sweaters and projects, and one she posted was of mohair, and I told her, I said, oh, I'm so envious of all the beautiful patterns that, all the beautiful garments that people make with mohair. And I thought maybe if I did a cardigan and it's open, it wouldn't be too hot to wear. And since I wear cardigans every day of my life, that's what I did. So the MCN wasn't working for the top. I decided to add some mohair to it. So I dyed up mohair in the Good Vibrations as well, which if you guys saw my last podcast, you know how happy this yarn makes me, this colorway makes me. So yeah, I decided to do that, and as I was thinking about the design, I thought I just want to enjoy the yarn in my hands. I didn't want it to be where I had to do a lot of thinking. In the beginning I did, because I wanted to keep the process simple. So I gave a lot of thought to how I wanted the construction of this to be, and though I love the look of picking up your front bands and your neck band after you've knit the body, it just wasn't a process that I wanted to do. So I thought about it and came up with, and I don't know if anybody's ever done this before, I'm sure they have. I've just personally never experienced it. So anyway, I cast on the neck band just like you would, you know, a regular sweater in the round, but I omitted the front of it and knit my 1x1 rib, and then started doing my raglan just like I would a regular raglan design, cardigan or sweater, whichever. And then I wanted the increases to be very, very, very gentle. I didn't want for it to come straight in and then straight down. I love an open front cardigan. To me, it's to keep me warm, but it's a style, it's an accessory for me. So yeah, that's what I did. And then along the way, I wanted to keep it interesting with details, but I love, which if you've been on my website, you will see that I don't do speckled yarns. Not saying I never will, but I don't enjoy knitting with speckled yarns. They're beautiful to look at. I love all the colors, but wearing them is not something I want to do. I don't mind knitting with them. I just don't want to wear them. I prefer classic, elegant things that will, I want the simple lines to be accented by beautiful color. So anyway, I digress. So I wanted to keep this real simple, but I wanted details. So I was actually working on another project, which is currently a whip, and I'll get to that in a minute. But the first time I worked it up, I've worked up the design and everything, I had a cute little split hem in the back and a lace panel going up the back. And so I wasn't able to use those elements on that particular project. So I brought in the split hem concept for this. And in order to get the split hem to open, I decided to give the slight, lengthen the back slightly with German short rows so that it causes the split to open. And I'm really, really pleased with the way it turned out. So that is this one. This is a project that I will be writing next. I'm in the process of writing my sea glass top that so many of you were very supportive and excited and said, yes, we would love that as a pattern. So that is in the works right now. I'll talk about that more in a little bit. After that, I will be writing this pattern. I'm very, very, very excited about this. I'm thrilled with the way it turned out. So that's FO number 1. Does not have a name yet, and I'll see if I can come up with a name. Sorry. I'm gonna move my little table here that has my iPad closer. Okay, so that's Good Vibrations, and I used everybody's gauge is different, but just for reference, if you're interested, I used a US 4 for the body, US 5 for the sleeves, and US 3 for the cuffs and the hem. So that's my needle sizes on that. So that's the Good Vibrations cardigan, which I said I didn't have a name. I forgot. I am going to call it Good Vibrations cardigan. So that's that. There is an alteration I'm going to make to the final pattern. I think the sleeves need to be a little wider up here, and that will allow this to pull forward a little more. So that is one alteration I will be making to the pattern, but everything else is pretty much going to stay as is because I love the way it turned out. So Good Vibrations cardigan, FO number 1. FO number 2 was a WIP last podcast, and it is a collaboration that I was doing with Nicole of Farm Fresh Knits. It was in test last time, and it is out of testing, and release date is March 5th, which I believe is next Friday. So if this is something you're interested in, go check it out, Farm Fresh Knits, and this is called the Long Walk Cardigan. Now, last time I was videoing with my phone, and today I'm videoing with my DSLR, so I cannot see what I'm showing you guys. So if this does not work, I apologize. I'm gonna get this filming thing down, I promise. I'm determined, but I thought I would give this a try this time and just see what happens. So it is a long sleeve, long cardigan. It is a drop shoulder. Now I did a modified, this is the only modification I made to the pattern, is I did a modified drop shoulder instead of just the standard drop shoulder instructions that she wrote up. And it has this beautiful lace detail down the back and down both of the sleeves. All of these, everything I show, I will link in the description box below, and I will have, there is a project page on everything that I make in Ravelry. So if you want more details or want to see better pictures, you can check out my Ravelry page for each of these designs. So on this, I made this out of my Aran Superwash, and this is the most amazing yarn. It is so squishy. I normally knit everything in fingering. So to knit with something that's so much thicker, it's just so squishy. I cannot even begin to tell you. Everybody that ordered the yarn for the project, they were like, oh my goodness, it's so soft and squishy. It really is. So very, very excited about the yarn. This is colorway Greek Dome. And for this project, I used US 10.5 needles. Now, the testers, the needles were kind of all over the place. So it is something that I highly recommend you swatching and wash and block before you get started. This was, like I said, I think everybody kind of had a different gauge. Now, with that being said, the way Nicole designed this pattern, if your gauge isn't exactly what she recommends, the way this pattern's done, you insert all of your information and it spits out, so to speak, the pattern for you. So it's customized just for you. So if your gauge, if you like a fabric that has a different gauge than what she suggests, you can change the gauge and it will adjust all of the measurements and everything for you. And all of your numbers and, you know, all of that good stuff. It's a really neat concept. So, again, I talk in more detail about this pattern in the last podcast, so I'm not going to go into it too much more. But so that is the Long Walk Cardigan by Farm Fresh Knits. Okay, quickly, I have a small FO that I'm going to jump into. This was a whip last podcast, and this is for my son that was helping me with the videoing. It is a beanie. He has been asking for a beanie forever, and I'm just not, I just do garments. I don't do a lot of other things. I'd like to get into it a little more, but anyway, it's a 2x2 rib basic beanie. This pattern is called Gratitude. I do not have, it's on Ravelry. I don't have any of the other information right now, but all of my project notes are on Ravelry, and it was a fun, super quick project. I think I did size, US size 2.5 for 3 needles. This is a 75-25 superwash, and this is not a colorway that's available on my website right now, but I think I'm going to make it available. So if you don't see it and you want this particular color, it was a color he special requested, which I think is gorgeous. It just looks like, I know I already have a colorway in my shop called Distressed Denim, but I'm thinking I may update that colorway to this because I really like the way this works up. So anyway, this is the Gratitude hat. So that's FO number, okay, so that's FO number 3. FO number 4 is, again, it was a whip last time. This was not a whip last time. So I have 3 that were whips and 2 that were not. This is my title in progress, Spring Fling Cardigan. I believe that title is going to change though. This is a Raglan cardigan, top down, and it has slight balloon sleeves. They're not overly ballooned, but just ever so slightly. I made this out of non-superwash yarn. You could use superwash if you wanted to though. This is a fingering weight, and I'll quickly go, I'm again not going to go into too many details because I went over all of this in the last podcast, but this is Lichen Lane, this is Matchmaker, Palm Desert, Lamb's Ear, and Berry Sweet Memories. So those are the colorways that I used. This was such a fun, quick knit because of the stripes. You get a stripe done and you're like, oh, just one more stripe, or I just want to start on the next color. And then as soon as you start on the next color, you're like, oh, I've got to finish this before I can stop. And so it just kind of knits itself, so to speak. Such a fun knit. And I'm kind of a lazy knitter. Yeah, I'm a lazy knitter. I don't want to say hate. I do not enjoy alternating skeins. I didn't alternate skeins on this. I did a little bit on my Long Walk cardigan because I kind of had to on that one. But anytime I can get away without alternating skeins, I will. So on stripes, you never have to worry about alternating skeins. So yay for that. So it's a lot of fun. You're only dealing with 1 yard at a time, and it's stripes, and there are so many possibilities because it's stripes. So all of that being said on this, it is written and I have started my testing call. So a lot of you guys had mentioned liking this. If you want to test it, I will have the link in the description box below for the tester form for this. Go fill out the tester form, and in the next week or so, we will be starting the test on this. And I generally do, I would think 2 months is adequate on testing. So from the time that we begin, 2 months after that, so probably somewhere around 2.5 months, this will be, the testing will be done, but I'll give more details in the Ravelry group later. So I do my testing, I run my tests through Ravelry. If you want to go join the Ravelry group over there, you will find out about test knits there as well if you don't do Instagram. So I do my testing calls on Instagram, and I'm going to start doing them on Ravelry. The Ravelry group name is Christie Archer Designs, and my Instagram is Christie Archer Designs. Again, everything will be linked below, but this is a great fun knit, so hopefully we'll get some new testers going on that real soon. Okay, my last FO was a bit of a womp womp. That's a little bit of an epic fail. So this was a project that I had. This was, okay, so I had knitted up, I think about a year ago. No, less than a year ago. It was summer 2020. I had knit up a cardigan. What was that? Let's see, what was it called? The No Frills Cardigan. It was a petite knits pattern. And while I love the pattern, love the look of it, the clean, simple, no frills cardigan, the name was, okay, sorry about that. My battery died, so I'm going to get back to this. I'm not sure how much recorded before it cut off, but okay. So the No Frills Cardigan, it was too big and kept falling off, so I decided to frog it. And with frogging it, excuse me, now I kind of lost my mojo, didn't I? With frogging it, I decided to make another cardigan, and long story short, I don't know how people do it, working with sock blanks and stuff like that. The crinkly yarn, I even waited a long time after frogging this and had it wound up into cakes to kind of help loosen the crinkles of it. Long story short, it did not work for me. This is after blocking, and it is still just a wrinkly mess. I'm gonna try blocking it a few more times, but the yarn was an epic fail as far as that is concerned, and the design I was just kind of playing with, and though there's one element on it that I really enjoy, overall it just wasn't the right yarn for what I was doing. So I won't go into too much detail on this because it was an epic fail, but I learned a lot from it, and even though we have failures, I don't like to look at it as a true failure. I wear this all the time, and I learned from it. So if I can learn from it, then it was a win. And I still have a garment that I can wear. I won't wear it out in public, but it is something that I can wear around the house with my pajamas or whatever. So that is that. It will not be written, but that was my 5th FO for the month. So that being said, I do have a couple of other projects. They weren't knitting projects, but they are knitting related that I did and finished, and I'm really excited about them both. So the first one I had talked about last time, that I wanted to make a knitting needle case. I have a set of Chalgoos and I have a set of Knitter's Pride Zings, and my Knitter's Pride Zings are new to me. I had just bought them for my last podcast, and I am really enjoying those. I love the feel of aluminum. The Chalgoos are stainless steel. The reason I got the Knitter's Pride because truly one set of needles is enough for me. I'm finding now that I have two, that I could probably even use a third. I never knew that I could use them, but the Chalgoo, though I love them, I use my fingers a lot when I'm knitting, and so I'm constantly pushing the needles with my fingers, and it hurts because the Chalgoo are lace needles, and they have really sharp points. So I decided to get the Zings, and they have, you know, the points on those are not as extreme. They're plenty sharp enough for standard knitting, and I love them. I love them, love them, love them. I'm so excited. So when I bought them, when you get sets of Knitter's Pride, they didn't come in the size range that I wanted, so I bought them individually in the sizes that I use, and the sizes that I use are the US 2.5 through 9. So I didn't have a case for them, and I didn't want to buy a case because nothing seems to hold the needles in place. The needles are constantly sliding around and falling out of their little cases and everything. So I showed that I wanted to do a cork to see if that fixed the problem, and it did. I'm so excited to share this with you. So this is what I designed, and if this is something, you guys tell me, is this something that bothers you guys? Is this something that you would like for me to make available in my shop? If so, leave a comment in the box below. If it's just something that bothers me, then I won't bother making it. But this was just scrap fabric that I had left over from my bag. So if I do offer these, I'll shop specifically for fabric and everything for this. But this linen look kind of fabric I thought was really cute. And then this is a new bag. I'll show that later when I do the shop updates, but this is a new bag print, and I love it because I'm a huge animal lover. So I have the place back here for all of my cords, and then all of my needles. Of course, some of them are being used on projects right now, but look at this. I could not shake these out if I had to. They stay. I am so thrilled with this, and it's small and simple. I don't need anything more than this because I keep all of my little, I knit in the same exact place every time, so I keep all of my little needed notions in what I'm going to show you next right beside my knitting chair. So I don't need a bunch of other little knick-knacks. So that being said, this is the case. I love the way it turned out. I love the little, I'm really big into really nice closures. So I had fun searching for this, but that's that. So very, very, very happy with my new needle case. So that was an FO, a sewing FO. Another FO that I have, I'm really excited about. And I am going to make some changes to it. And again, if this is something that you guys think you might have interest in, let me know in the comments below. I don't know if this is just something that I enjoy, but I made a little tray to go beside me on the table next to my knitting chair to hold my tape measure, my scissors, a stitch fix needle, my darning needles, and all of my stitch markers, progress keepers, and all of my stitch markers. And it's just so nice to have this, and it looks nice too. It matches my bedroom, and which is where I knit and watch all of my podcasts on the TV. So it just sits right there, and everything's just right there at my hand. And it just looks so cute. So that was another FO. If I offer these in my shop, I think I may do them out of wool felt instead of leather. I kind of feel guilty about doing the leather. I'm such an animal lover that this was kind of, long story short, this was left over from something else that I attempted and it did not work out. And so I went ahead and used it, and I love the look of it. But I think for me and my conscience, I would rather use wool felt. Let me know your thoughts on that also. Where do you guys stand on leather goods, and if you had the choice between leather or wool felt, really nice wool felt, for these little trays, what do you think you would enjoy more? What do you think you would be more drawn to? So that's that. I love the way it turned out though. It's so cute. All right. So that is it for FOs. As far as whips, some things that I have worked on this past month that you will not be able to see. My mother, when we were having my mother made my daughter a carousel horse, a full-size carousel horse to go in her nursery. And needless to say, something like that is an heirloom piece. It will be passed down forever and ever. But she's had it in the same colors of her nursery all of these years. So we decided, now that we're in our new house, our final home, we're not moving, she's having so much fun decorating her room, and so we have started repainting her carousel horse. I'm gonna try to throw in a picture. It's not finished yet though. I think I'll wait and show that on the next podcast once we've got it done. So that is a whip that we are working on together. And it's a lot of fun. Okay, the other two whips that I have going. Now, I spoke about the one that I started and ripped back, and I've decided to go in a different direction with it. This is a project bag. Well, I'll show this later. I'll talk about this project bag later. Okay, so I've got this yarn, and this is a colorway that is not in my shop yet. It will be coming to my shop this week. So if you like this, it will be available. This is the project that I am currently making out of it. I really think this is going to be cute. So my design idea on this, you can't really see a whole lot because it's squished up on needles and there's not a whole lot there, but I may end up ripping this back and doing it again and making a slight adjustment to the stitches just before my increased stitches, or just before and just after my increased stitches, because I don't like the way it's making that one column of knit stitches look. So I think I may go back and twist those. But anyway, okay, so this is going to be a short little mock neck top. It is going to it's twisted rib, and it's going to have twisted rib going down the panel of twisted rib going down the front, the back, and down the center of the sleeves. And off of each of these, so it's almost like a raglan, but instead of the increases going here, the increases are going to be going off of those panels of twisted rib stitches. And so I think it's going to be really fun. I am designing this, not how I would wear it, but I'm going to make this for my daughter, and she will look fantastic in this. And I will alter it, and I will give instructions for altering it. So there's going to be two different options in the pattern, because this is something I will be writing up. It is designed to where it will be fitted at the waist, and it will be cropped. Not cropped to show stomach, but cropped to go to the waist band, like where your waistband hits. But when I do it for myself, because I really like this, I'm excited to do one for myself, it's going to be just a straight down cut and hit at the hips, the high hip area. So it will be a fit that anybody can enjoy. and it will be short sleeves. So that's going to be a fun design. I'm really excited about that. My next work in progress is, I have no idea how to pronounce this, so I'm going to spell it. It is U-R-A and then a capital U-E, but it's one word. If you guys know how to say that, let me know. But this is a pattern that I just bought last night. It's one that I've had favorited for a couple of weeks now, and it is living in one of my new project bags, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but this is the Gingham black and white project bag. And I am making it out of one of my new yarns, which we will talk about soon here in a minute as well. This is my new colorway, Calencia. And this is a non-superwash fingering, which that's just my go-to for everything. As you can tell, I was working on my swatch and ripped it out. That's another thing I love about non-superwash yarn. I never feel like I have to waste yarn on swatching, because pretty much whatever your swatch knits up at is what it's going to block at. So I was able to save all of this yarn, which I'm going to need because I barely have enough to make this project. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of it for you guys. Okay. Oh, it doesn't really have a good picture in the pattern. Let me see. Oh, well, I can show this. It's called a vest, and it is mock fisherman rib up here, or I think it's called half fisherman rib up at the top, and then it's stockinette, and then it has the half fisherman rib, has a longer hem in the back and a shorter one in the front, and it has a taper to the split hem. Instead of just coming straight down on the sides, those the hems are going to come like the back hem. Instead of coming straight down, it's going to come in at an angle, which I think is really neat. Again, it's the little details that I really get into. So that is this pattern. There's another picture there, but yeah, I don't think. Oh, it also comes with this little separate cowl kind of thing. Of course, I will not be doing that for myself because there's no way I would ever wear that. But, and I just realized my color is very similar to the, hers is a little more pink, but anyway, this is what I am working on right now. I'll show you guys the front page. That's the front of the pattern. This is a paid for pattern, so I won't show anything else, but U-R-A-U-E, and it is by, does it have the designer's name? Natsuko Ida, N-A-T-S-U-K-O-I-I-D-A. So beautiful design, absolutely gorgeous. I love, once again, the classic lines, the simpleness, but yet those extra details that just give it that polish. So I'm really excited. I worked on my swatch last night, and then I got up this morning before I even made the bed, which is highly unusual of me. First thing I do is brush my teeth and make the bed. But before I even got the bed made, I was working on I cast on and started the neck. It's a top down. So I started on the neck, and I am thrilled. I cannot wait to get this done. I'm really excited about it. So those are my two FOs. Let's see, what is next on podcast notes? Okay. All right, so these are the things that you can expect to see coming soon. The Party of 8 top, this is my very first pattern. It will be coming out very soon. It will be released very soon. it will probably be released the second week of March. It is done with testing. I'm still waiting on a few testing notes to come in. Today was the last day of testing, so I'm still waiting on a little bit of that to come in. And once that is done, there really wasn't a whole lot to change on it, which I am thrilled with. My very first pattern, and literally it's just little silly notes that, you know, will just give it that extra, just make it just that much more polished. So this is coming out soon. I think with the next podcast, the end of March, I think I'm going to do a knit along. And if you are interested in doing a knit along for this, look for that at the end of March. I actually think I'm going to do a solid colored one, even though I love doing stripes. Again, you don't have to worry about working with 2 yarns at one time. I think I'm going to do a solid. I think I'm going to do like a solid black. I wear a lot of black. So that is the Party of 8 top, and that will be coming up soon. The Sea Glass top, which again, that is a working title. That's the name of the yarn color, and that's how that one ended up being referred to as the Sea Glass top. This is a top that I showed last time, and you guys were really, really receptive to it and wanted to see this written up. So it is in the process of being written, and the testing call, again, the second week of March, I will be doing the testing call for this. So if this is something you have any interest in, definitely links below. All right, so that is all of what is coming up next. Hi, I am back filming for the 3rd day in a row. I have had a few technical issues, so I appreciate you guys bearing with me if you've made it this far into the video. I'm going to try to splice it all together and make it as smooth as possible, but there will be a few interruptions, and I apologize for that. Okay, so I'm going to pick up with shop updates, and I'm just going to jump straight in because I really don't know where I left off exactly. So, shop updates. First thing I'm going to talk about is my new spring 2020 line of yarn. And I am so excited about the colorways. I cannot wait to show you guys. If you are unfamiliar with my yarn and the way I do things, I create colorways, and then I have a huge range of yarn bases that you can select from, and I dye to order. So anytime you want to get these yarns, they are available. I'm going to start with this colorway, and this is called Beryl, B-E-R-Y-L, like the stone. And it is a beautiful, soft, powdery, aqua teal kind of color. One of the technical issues I had was that my white balance was off. So you'll probably see a different white balance in this section of the video. Hopefully these are more accurate, showing up more accurate. When I photograph them for the shop, I do my best to get the colors as accurate as possible so that you guys will have a good idea of what you're going to be getting. That being said, I'm also very, very precise when dyeing my yarn and writing my formulas down. So again, I try to get my colors as close as possible every single time, but obviously with anything handmade, there are variations. So this is color Beryl. This is one of 7. And the next one I'm going to show is Chambray. This is just like the good, comfortable chambray button-up top that I used to love to wear oversized button-up, like men's-sized button-up tops to bed, and that blue chambray fabric, that's what this reminds me of, and I really, really like this. So this entire line has a very powdery look to it. So all of these colors work together and work well off of each other. Would be great to do color work and everything like that with these colors. They just look beautiful together. So this is chambray. Next up we have Calencia, and Calencia is a soft lavender color. All of these colors are soft, but they're not extremely pastel. They have depth to the color, so they're not going to be washed out or anything like that. They're going to be the color is there, they're just very powdery. So this is Calencia, a nice soft lavender, and this one is Acadia. Acadia is a gorgeous dark blush, really dark blush. It's not the typical blush that you think of, and again, it's very muted. So I'm really excited about this. As a matter of fact, no, this wasn't the one. I am going to be making a cardigan. I know, shock. I am going to be making a cardigan out of this colorway though, because I really do like this a lot. So this is Acadia. Now, all of these I dyed up on non-superwash yarn, and I'm going to talk about something that I'm adding to an option that I will be adding to all of my yarns. I'll talk about that in just a minute, but notice that the colorway is a lot more even than a lot of the colorways that I have on my website now. I changed dyeing techniques because I really like working with solids. I don't enjoy alternating skeins, so I like to avoid that as much as possible. And I know you still have to, but what you can do with these is work with one skein until you get almost to the end of it. Say like you've got like 1/4 of the hank left, and then start introducing the next hank, and it kind of blends without having to do the entire project alternating skeins. So that's kind of what I do. It may not be perfect, but it is something that I do. I didn't alternate skeins on this, and I didn't have any problems. I didn't alternate skeins at all. And this one, I didn't even dye in this new technique. So hopefully it will be even easier. But if you do prefer the variegated look, that will still be an option. I'm just going to add the option of if you would prefer something more solid, I can do all the colorways in a more solid look. So that is also new this spring. Those 4 colors, and then I have 3 more. And these 3 were dyed up on superwash. So you'll see there is a slight variation in the way the yarn dyes, the color dyes. So keep that in mind when you're ordering. Non-superwash yarns tend to absorb the yarn dye more evenly. So anyway, okay, so this colorway I'm really excited about. I love greens, and this one, this whole collection, to me, every color turned out just perfect. This colorway is called Matcha, and it's just like that great glass of matcha tea. It's just and it has, once again, the real muted, powdery tone to it. I really, really, really like this color. So this is Matcha. And then I have some neutrals that I wanted to add to the collection, and this colorway is called Pebble. This is a very, very neutral gray. It's not warm, it's not cool, it's just right in the middle, which is just a great color on its own. It would be a great foundation for color work, a good background color to add all of these other colors to. This is a color that would look beautiful on any skin tone because it is so neutral. Glory, if you're watching, I'm going to be contacting you about this colorway. So anyway, this is the colorway Pebble. And my last one, again, is a neutral, and I'm really excited about this. The top that I am currently working on, it was the lavender color. What is, Calencia, yeah, I wanted to make sure. The top that I'm making out of the colorway Calencia, I started to do in this. I wear a lot of jeans, and this just looks so good with a really dark pair of navy jeans. This colorway is called Buttermilk, and it's almost like a dark beige linen with a tiny touch of a peach undertone. I know that sounds like a weird combination, but it really works. And like I said, it's just a good neutral that will work pretty much with any skin tone. Now, Pebble will definitely work with any skin tone, but Buttermilk should work with just about any skin tone. So those are all of the colorways, and I'm going to try to hold them up all together and see if you can see the entire collection together. So that is my spring 2021 collection. I'm very excited about it. I mean, it just makes you want to cast on all things spring right now, doesn't it? Hopefully you guys will enjoy that as well. So that is my yarn update. The yarns will be coming to my shop this week. This 3 days of filming my podcasting has put me behind. This should have already been in the shop. But yes, my podcasting filming has taken over my weekend. So I'm going to now discuss my project bags. After my podcast, my project bags were so well received, and I'm so excited because I love sewing these project bags. They are so much fun for me. So after the great reception, for those of you who went to the shop and everything was sold out, I apologize. I was not expecting that kind of reaction to my bags, and so I didn't have a whole lot to offer. But this time, this shop update, lots of bags, lots of new fabrics. You should be able to get what you want. I have been sewing like a crazy person this past month. I went to the store the other day and found one more fabric. I don't have this bag made up yet, but I'm going to show you this fabric. I'm so excited about it. It's black and white, which to me, you cannot go wrong with black and white. And it's these fun little dog prints. I just love this. So I will be adding this to the shop update as well. So this will be a bag. And then a couple of these do not have the drawstrings in them yet. This is mushrooms, and it has it almost looks like waxed canvas. Sorry, I see a thread somewhere. It almost looks like a wrinkled waxed canvas down at the bottom. I really enjoy this. All of these bags, most of my bags are made out of cotton canvas. I will be showing one at the very end that is made out of Quilters Cotton, and I may start adding Quilters Cotton because I like the way that worked up too. So I was going to show you the inside, but I'm going to show you the inside of another one because the color on this one is just slightly different. Same inside, but this one's more of a blue to match the bag. Okay, the next one is a bag that was in my shop previously. So this one is back, and again, dogs. Can you tell I love dogs? And this beautiful tan beige color is just so, it it works well with the pattern, and I love how it looks in my house too. So that is, I think that one's called Puppy Power. This is a new one, and I am so excited about this. I love animals, and I love all woodland creatures. So this is a woodland creatures print. I haven't named this one yet, but they'll be easy enough to spot. So this is my woodland creatures. This is just a good neutral kind of a classic, has almost kind of like a watercolor vibe going on, and the slightest hint of an animal print maybe, but mostly it's just kind of a would work for anybody kind of bag. I was starting to say, I think I had this in my shop before, but I don't believe I ever got this one listed. I had it, but I never had it listed. All right, next one is Birds on a Wire, and this one I just loved the colors. It's so tropical and summery, and it just makes you happy to look at it. So Birds on a Wire. And this one I did have in my shop previously, and I showed this on the last podcast. This is Summer Breeze. And then I have another new colorway, and I'll show you the inside of this bag. This is lemons, and who doesn't love a great lemon for summer? Lemon stands, and it just makes you want to go to the beach or go to the swimming pool or whatever. So I wanted to quickly show you the inside of all of my bags, because I didn't do that last time. All of my bags are finished off with a ticking stripe inside. The colors may vary just ever so slightly, but they are all done with a cotton canvas ticking stripe inside, and they all have a double pocket. So you can store some extra little, easy to reach, easy to find the small things that you need to store in your bag. So that is the inside of all of the bags. And I have another new print, and with that I wanted to show you the size, the amount of room that is in these bags. This final new print is Gingham, and I wanted to discuss this just a little bit. I wanted to show the quality of my craftsmanship. I take great pride in it, and with my bags you will notice, and I choose this one just because you can notice it the most, but I make sure all of my fabrics are lined up straight. All of my seams, let's see, you may be able to see it a little better on this side, I'm not sure. All of my seams match up as perfectly as I can get them. Again, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So they all, and then you'll see pictures of them on my website. I show the details of how all of my seams and corners and everything match up. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention, because there are people out there that don't match up seams and don't straighten up the prints and everything. It kind of drives me crazy. So they're all the same size, and I use these for most of my projects are 2 skein projects, and I use these for my 2 skein projects all the time. But this one is holding 8 hanks of yarn. That is a lot of space. So these are a good versatile size bag. So I just wanted to point that out as well. Now the last bag I'm going to show that will be available, this one I did out of Quilters Cotton, and I love the way this feels. But I just wanted you to be aware of the fact that there is a difference in the way that these feel versus the canvas. The canvas, the body of the canvas material is a little, it has a little more body, whereas with the Quilters Cotton, it has good body, but it's not quite as substantial as the canvas, but it works just the same. So I'm very excited about that. And the reason I wanted to try this is because though I love the canvas and enjoy working with it, and I enjoy working with this too, the issue is there aren't a whole lot of patterns to choose from in the canvas material. So I wanted to have a wider selection. So I'm going to start adding the Quilters Cotton as well. This one is, and when I say Quilters Cotton, it will be 100% cotton, good quality material. I do not use cheap stuff. So this is a blue and yellow. I'm not sure what I'm going to call this. The Quilters Cotton will have a different interior from the ticking stripe. Again, pictures will be on the website to give you all the details, but that is it for the bags. Now, let me grab my notes real quick, which are now down on the floor. Okay, so that is shop updates. I also wanted to talk about some other podcasts that I enjoy, podcasters that I enjoy watching. And I was trying to get to my subscription. I'm just going to quickly, because like I said, this is my third time doing this. So I'm going to quickly name off some podcasters that I enjoy watching. I wanted to share this in hopes that maybe you guys will discover somebody new, and I would love for you guys to do the same for me in the comment box below. If you have a podcast, tell me about it so that I can support you as well. And if you know of another podcast that you really enjoy, tell me about it. I'd love to check them out. I am an avid podcast watcher. I watch podcasts every day. So I'm going to name off a few, and these will be in alphabetical order because that is the way they're listed on YouTube. At the top is going to be Grocery Girls Knits. I'm sure everybody's heard of them. Love Grocery Girls. Tracy and Jody have me literally laughing out loud every time I watch them. My kids know when I'm laughing, I'm watching the Grocery Girls. So hopefully you guys enjoy them as well. Then there's also the YouTube channel is TB Kennon, and that is Tara from her podcast name is A Loop Through a Loop, and that's THRU. Love watching Tara. Most of the podcasts that I watch, you will notice a lot of similarities. I like to watch people that have a very calm vibe to their podcasts, and I do prefer watching podcasts that are mostly about garments, since that's what I enjoy knitting myself. There are exceptions to both of those, so but for the most part, that is the type of podcast that I enjoy watching. Okay, another one, sorry, I've got an itch on my back. Another one is Fibre Bound, FIBREBOUND. Christina from Chelsea Yarns, which I'm sure you guys have all heard of her. I love watching Sam from Hand Me My Knitting. She was kind of the second one that I became obsessed with, and I binge watched all of her episodes. There's just something about her. She's so real, and I really enjoy her too. And I did the same thing with Tara from A Loop Through a Loop. I binge watched all of hers. So, HeyBrownBerry, I am so intrigued by so many, the way she lives. It's just, I'm so intrigued by her. So that's HeyBrownBerry. Denise from EarthtonesGirl. Denise, I love you. She always makes me so happy to watch her. She is actually one of the exceptions to the rule. She is almost exclusively a sock knitter, and I don't even care. I just turn her on because I love listening to her. I just wish I could listen to her all day long. Love Denise. The Gentle Knitter is another podcaster. She's from, and she always says it at the very beginning of her video. I can't think, somewhere in Canada. She's gentle. She always does these little videos at the beginning of the nature that she, her on a nature walk or whatever. And that's just so soothing to me. I really enjoy that. Another one, Joji Locatelli. I like the way that she refers to her podcasts as journals. She journals her knitting adventures, and I think that's neat. I really enjoy that. Leslie Friend is another one that I binge watched. She doesn't have a whole lot out there, and she just recently came back from kind of a hiatus, but there's a kindred spirit kind of thing there. And I have a kind of a kindred spirit with a lot of these people, I feel like. So Leslie Friend is a friend to knit with. Michelle from my so-called Handmade life, she is just such a neat person. She always she always has a deep thought, I'll say, and she converses with you about these thoughts, and then you're able to get in on the conversation. She's a really neat person, and she does a lot of garment knitting and everything. She's from Texas, and so it's kind of fun to watch. She's like me, dealing with extreme heat. So anyway, I enjoy her as well. Fox's Blog Knits. I love her videoing, her production. I am intrigued by that, and I know that she uses a DSLR, which is what I'm using today. You can just tell. You'll see if you watch my last episode done with my phone versus a DSLR, they're just miles apart as far as quality of production. So I'll probably stick with it, though it is a lot more work. Hopefully it won't be 3 days worth of work every single time I do this, but that is, and I enjoy her aesthetic. She is very much like me. She likes things very classic, or not really classic, just stylish. So she has a website where she sells accessories and stuff like that, and everything is just really, really, I get her style, I get her vibe, so I enjoy that. That's some podcasters that I watch, to name a few. I'm sorry if I feel like I'm going a little bit faster now. I've probably got this podcast memorized. I've done it so much. But two more things. I wanted to talk about books, and then I have a giveaway to talk about, which I'm really excited about, and I forgot to bring in here, so I'll have to run grab that real quick. But books, I didn't discuss that last time, and I am an avid reader. I read every night before I go to bed for probably 2 hours, maybe a little longer. That's my calming down time, and everybody's asleep, and I just read into the wee hours of the night. I do like to read quite a few different genres. I'm not stuck on just one genre. Right now I'm into fantasy, and I'm really enjoying the series that I'm on right now is called Air Awakens, and I am on the 5th and final book. I only have a few chapters left to go, so I should finish it tonight. I think I've got like 7 or 8 chapters to go, so I should more than finish it tonight. And it is a fun series. It is by Elise Kova, and I'll put all of that information in the description box. And another series, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to go back to another series that I was reading and have been waiting on the final book to be released, and it was released just a couple of weeks ago. And that series, if you are into fantasy, I'm sure you've heard of this series. It's called A Court of Thorn and Roses, and the final book is called A Court of Silver Flames. And this is by Sarah J. Maas. So that is currently what I am reading. I do enjoy like John Grisham. I enjoy Nora Roberts. I enjoy classicals. As a matter of fact, as soon as I'm done with A Court of Silver Flames, I'm going to be reading the classic of Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland is one of those movies that I just adore. I love Alice in Wonderland. So that will be coming up. I'll be reading that after A Court of Silver Flames. And also, I just want to throw this out there. If you are into romance and you like those fun little quick reads, my mother is actually an author. Okay. Battery died yet again. I have 2 batteries and I keep having to switch them. For some reason, videoing with my camera is eating through the batteries. I've never experienced this before. I can shoot pictures for hours on end and not even use 1/3 of the battery, but for whatever reason, videoing is eating up my batteries. So I'm gonna have to look into that. For the giveaway, I am so excited. This is in celebration of the warm welcome that you guys gave me. I am so excited to share the love and give back. When I very first started Christie Archer Designs, I started with these really high-end project bags, and they're quite involved to put together. So I found that the amount of money I was able to get for them versus the amount of time I was putting into them was not balanced. And I just didn't feel like I could ask for more than what I was already asking for. I was asking $85 for this bag, and with the quality of the materials and the amount of time that I was putting into it, it just ended up not being cost effective. So one of you lucky winners is going to get this bag, which is was my medium sized at the time, and it is all 100% linen. Well, this has stellina in it, but it's all really, really, really nice materials. It has the interfacing that is made for like bags, so it's really, really, really nicely lined. At the bottom, it has the really, really stiff bottom, hard bottom, and then it has a really nice lining for the upper part as well. I used really nice findings hardware and really nice zipper and zipper hardware. So this is a gorgeous, gorgeous bag. It is once again lined inside with this is a stripe, not a ticking stripe, but it's linen fabric as well. And then it has an interior zippered pocket, and it's a welt pocket. I don't know if you guys are familiar with sewing, but I did a welt pocket. This kind of construction's not the easiest in the world to do, let me tell you. So anyway, this, and I am including with it a hank of the Sweet Cheeks colorway, and this is in a superwash sport weight. So this will be going to one lucky winner. And in order to participate in the giveaway, I would like for you guys to follow me on Instagram, and I would love for you to sign up for my newsletter. I do not send out a lot of newsletters. I don't have time for it, but occasionally I'll send out shop update or you know, something like that, just a little quick update. You will be lucky to get an email from me once a month. So I do not harass anyone with my emails. Like I said, I just don't have time for it. So if you will sign up, if you will follow me on Instagram, sign up for my newsletter, and in the comment box below, give me your Instagram handle so that I can verify that you followed over there, and then tell me your favorite colorway that I have on my website and your favorite project bag pattern, fabric that I have on my website, either one of those or both of those. Anyway, just talk to me in the comment box below, and yeah, so hopefully we'll have a lot of chatting going on. I want to take a step back now, speaking of chatting, and tell you that I had so much fun chatting with everybody this past month, back and forth, and it was just a delight. I am really enjoying this outlet and this connection that I'm able to get with other knitters that I haven't really had before. I have Instagram, and I have connected with people there, but not like I've been able to connect here. It has just been amazing. So I have personally replied to every single comment that came through, and like I said, it was such a pleasure chatting with all of you, and I look forward to chatting with all of you guys again this month. So that is it for today, and I will be back the last Sunday of March. I'm not sure what the date of that is, and I apologize that this one's coming out a day late. I've had people emailing me, I'm looking for your podcast, but I was not expecting all of the technical issues with this particular podcast. So last time I shot with my phone, I shot it all in one take. I didn't do really any editing. I was going to have my son edit. He's in the film industry, and I ended up just basically adding, I didn't really do anything to it last month. So this one has been a bit of a challenge, but it has been a fun challenge. I always enjoy talking with my son about the film industry because I do enjoy this kind of stuff. Anything creative, I love it. So, I lost my train of thought. I can't remember what I was looking up. Oh well, I apologize. I was looking up the date for next month. It'll be the last Sunday of March. So I will see you guys then. Mwah. From me to you, thank you for spending some time with me, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. Bye.